Welcome to the podcast, Katie.
Thank you so much for having me. This is such a treat to be in this physical space with you in our little podcast studio here, creating magic together.
This is so much fun. Again, our first time, and Katie is one of my most favorite soul friends people in the whole world, and so it feels so very right and timing to have you as the first guest on She Who Leads in Love.
I'm so excited. Thank you. What an honor.
And we get to do it in person,
Yes.
which again, Katie lives in Alaska. I live in Florida right now, and so it just so happened that this timing worked out and we got to do it. And we almost like just instantly created a little podcast studio here, which is delightful. So I'm going to just ask Katie some questions today about her experience in leading in love and what it means to her, just because it's just to share, just to give real live examples of people living this way. Because for both of us, I know we want to share what's possible.
Yes.
Yeah. So what does it mean? Well, let's start with something that feels joyful.
Okay.
That feels fun. Because Katie and I also have our own podcast, Awaken Your Truth, and we always start with something that's joyful. So,
well, joyful is just sitting here with you
really
in person and having this space to co-create in physical, like to feel the energy. I know there's energy when we do the Zoom calls and we do the Zoom recordings, but like there's something tangible about the physical connection.
Yes. Well, I'm saying the same joy.
Okay.
Because it is. It's just so joy. So what does it mean for you when I say like she who leads in love? Like what does that even mean to you?
The leadership part, initially my mind was like, what does that mean to me? Because I don't necessarily my mind doesn't see myself as a leader. But what I know is true is that I choose to unapologetically live the life of my dreams. I know that anything is possible. I know that I am infinitely loving, peaceful, joyful, abundant, connected. And I am choosing every day to rise above fear and to live in that energy. And I believe that my life can be an example of living your own life in that way as you, as the truest form of you.
It feels like from how you describe that, like this sense of like you've made it, like you've arrived.
It's all here. The truth is that it's all here. All my wildest dreams, everything I've ever wanted from the mind perspective and more is here. Like it's all here and it just keeps getting better. And sometimes I even think like, really, I have everything I ever want. Like what's next?
Yes.
And it just keeps getting better.
Yeah. So what was the journey here?
Yeah.
Wait, was it always like this?
No. But I always knew the potential. I think that's the difference.
Did you know it or believe it?
I believed it initially. Like there has to be something more than living on this planet in fear of judgment, fear of whatever my fears were. I knew there had to be something more than that.
Yes.
And I was open to exploring that and realizing who I was beyond my conditioned beliefs and fears. And it's been a journey. As you know, we've been on the journey together.
Yes, absolutely. What about when you say you knew there was more?
Yeah.
Was that a belief or was it something different? Did you believe what you want was possible for you?
Yes. But I didn't know
Always?
yes, but I didn't know how to make it necessarily happen in some parts of my life. Some parts were easy.
Yes.
I've always felt abundant and knew I could create my own abundance.
Yeah.
But my sticky subject, what I call my sticky subject, was my physical experience or my appearance and my body.
Yeah.
And so I thought I had to struggle and work hard to be radiantly healthy. And I knew that didn't feel right. I wanted here's what it was. I wanted to be effortlessly, easily, joyfully healthy and to live without rules.
Oh my gosh, I think this gets so many of us stuck because there is that awareness of like, part of me believes it's possible.
Yeah.
And I want the easy path. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that can be interpreted as wrong. Like I shouldn't want it
Yeah,
to be
you're
easy.
right.
But there was something in you that knew, like, okay, I know it can
Mm-hmm.
be easy.
I'm going to clarify that word
Okay.
easy.
Yes.
What I really wanted was freedom. Like that was the root
Yeah.
of it. I wanted freedom.
You want to
I
feel
wanted to feel
free.
free. I wanted to travel and eat what I wanted and wear what I wanted. And I wanted to be free from self-judgment
Yeah.
and free from worrying about what other people thought about me. Like I wanted freedom from all of that. So
Yes.
I would say that maybe if I'm looking back on my journey, initially I just started collecting evidence.
Mm.
Well, that person's eating whatever they want and they're radiantly healthy.
Yeah.
That person is free. That person has no rules.
Yeah.
That person doesn't give a crap about what anyone else thinks about her. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's possible.
It's
It's
possible.
possible.
It's possible. It's possible. What was the connection or the jump that made it, it was possible for you?
Connecting to my inner being, my source, like
Ah!
that, knowing who I am and knowing that I've just been trained to not believe who I am.
Okay, I think when we use the word knowing,
Yeah.
we mean something because it can mean something like knowing
Okay.
for us is like embodiment, right?
Yes.
Like there's a sensation inside, there's a resonance
Yes.
inside of us.
Yes.
And we call that knowing.
It's different than the mind knowing. Right.
Intellectually knowing.
Because
So
for a long time, intellectually, like, oh, yeah, I know everything's possible.
yes.
I think I know everything's possible. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's in me. It's in every cell of my body.
Yeah.
I know.
And so the what allowed you to make the shift was connecting to that inner being part of you.
That eternal part of me that is just pure love, freedom, joy, peace.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that's how I came into this planet,
Mm-hmm.
and that I just unlearned it.
Yes.
And knowing that I'm still that eternal part of me, that energy flows through me just like it flows through everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And allowing it rather than resisting with all my judgments and fears and beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. It's just like source, love, joy, peace flowing through.
What inspired you to start connecting with your inner being?
Again, knowing it was possible. I remember reading Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, and he talked about this thing, like the inner being and that eternal part of you. And then I think there were some other books I read, probably Abraham talks about the inner being.
Yeah.
So listening to Abraham, but not necessarily knowing how. But then what really opened the doors for me was just the practice of automatic writing. Writing every day. And then when I felt comfortable asking the questions and just opening to the answers and then receiving the answers.
Yes. How long? Katie, once you get to know Katie, time is one thing.
I don't believe in numbers, time. I don't believe, that's a funny word, but they don't really cross my horizon.
But in the sense of when you talk about your journey, I am really interested in this shift from the intellect to the embodiment, from the I think to like I just know it.
Right.
Can you give me any range?
I can, because I just finished a book and I had to go back to my journals and look at when I started doing all this. And it was, I think, about 2018.
Okay.
And then, so that, how many years ago is that, number lady?
That is 6 years, I believe, number lady. We're
in 2006 now. I mean,
we are both awful at this.
2026.
Yes.
So 8 years.
Oh, you're right. See, don't ask me numbers. Oh my God.
But but that might be like, oh, well, what's the point? 8 years. But the journey was so amazing that I wouldn't trade it for anything that 8 years. Yeah. And in my experience, for me, I don't think I was ready for stepping into that life all at once. Yes. Like it was bit by bit by bit, releasing a layer, awareness, collecting evidence, releasing a layer. Yeah. But it feels like you're sometimes taking a step backwards. But what I know is that we're on this journey and it's like these circles of expansion. We might pause for a moment and we're just expanding a little bit more instead of the idea of going backwards when we think, I know this, why am I not doing it? Yeah.
I actually love that you said 8 years, because in some people's minds it could be, oh my God, that's so long.
Yeah.
And that's one of the biggest things we release is this idea that we ever get there. I mean, that was one of my most exciting ideas about sharing Katie's story because it does feel like she has arrived, and but it does just keep getting better and
There's
better.
always
There's
more,
always more
always
expansion,
more.
but at some point along your journey, and I think it was probably earlier than now, was it ever a choice where you decided, okay, I'm going to decide I have arrived in a way? Like stop seeking, like the seeking
Stop.
leaves,
Yes.
living it
And
for the future.
I think that naturally just fell away.
Ooh, I
I
love
don't
that.
know that I consciously chose it, except when I do choose, when I do see my mind trying to go to the future, I'm like, wait, come back, come back. Or I let my mind play and I just come back to the now. So
Yeah.
I don't, I feel like my interest in curiosity and exploration shifted naturally.
As
Yeah.
naturally as what? As
Naturally,
you,
well, as I continued expanding and knowing more of who I am and releasing
yeah.
old fears, probably releasing old fears.
So it's like this is how sometimes I think of it too, is the more we get to know ourselves,
Yeah.
the more we uncover.
Yes.
And so then as those things release, the old stuff or the fears, then the more we get to be who we really
Yeah,
are.
and it's so much
And
fun.
it's so much fun.
And that really shifts everything, isn't it? When you feel within you like the joy of being you
Oh, that's
without the
everything.
fear, that's everything.
Yeah,
That's
living
like
your truth.
living your truth.
Yes.
Exactly.
When you say the journey was so much fun, you wouldn't change any of
Yeah.
the past 8 years.
Are you
Um,
going to ask, was it ever hard? Was I ever like crying my eyes out and saying, this doesn't work, I give up? Like, of
oh,
course,
I already know
of
that.
course.
Yeah.
But that was a part of it because I always sort of feel like on the other side of what feels like a low point is like whoosh, this expansion. So now I'm like, bring it on, bring
Yeah.
it on. And it doesn't feel like that anymore. It's more like, oh, awareness. Oh, there it is. There's a fear.
Yeah.
Okay. And then shifting back into my truth.
I think that's one of my questions is like when did you make that shift or just speak to that shift of how you approached the pain or the hurt or the
Hmm.
struggle? Because I think that we make a huge jump
Yeah, when we do, when I
when
allowed it. Look at your
yes.
face.
Like yes.
When I allowed it, when I stopped judging it, that's it.
You stop
Releasing the
judging it.
judgment, releasing the judgment of
Yes.
myself and where I was and where I thought I should be.
It's so huge. And even just saying those words, like when I allowed it, it seems like this
I
simple, easy thing we
know.
do, but
I know,
it's
I
just
know, I know.
practice.
Yeah.
But same for me along my path, it's when I would be able to catch myself in the struggle or in the judgment
Yep.
or in the feeling, whatever it was, and allow it.
Yes. Just it. Allow. Allow. And when you say allow, like then you're just allowing all to be
You
well.
stop
And you stop fighting,
fighting.
you stop resisting, and then you just allow whatever is to be,
Whatever is here.
to be.
So that's the biggest opener.
That is what I feel like too.
That allowed your path to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you, what about this idea of love, living in love, or
Yeah.
leading in love, being passive? Or like, how will you make it,
Mm.
this idea that if we
Mm-hmm.
just let love lead, how will
Mm-hmm.
we
Make a difference
make
in
a
the world?
difference?
Uh, like we just talked about, in the
Yeah.
idea of like fighting against something or judging something, to me, that feels kind of, I want to say like fourth dimension, how we fix the planet.
Yes.
And what I feel like we're expanding into is that fifth dimension of pure love. And in the dimension of pure love, there's no fear, there's no scarcity, there's no competition. And so if I can play that role of embodying that in my
Mm-hmm.
own life, like love changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
How would I not choose that?
Mm-hmm. What did you have to let go of? What idea did you have to let go of in order to embody that love of being an impact, being a positive
Judgment. Back to
fear? Oh,
judgment.
fear
Fear.
of judgment.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what are you worried people will think about you?
Oh, I had so many. You can probably remember more than me, like in terms of when by living this life or
Yes,
by
by
just
living this
choosing
life,
love.
choosing love and living this,
Um,
living your truth.
okay, like my head's in the sand, or like
Yeah,
I'm full of hot air, or
yeah. Or
it's all like woo woo,
I'm
or
too bubbly.
oh yeah, that was like
Like,
do people want to be around me? Is it too
yeah,
much?
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we still even feel that when we're around our husbands and we're like, okay, you guys can take a break from us.
Yeah. Like right now.
Like right now. We'll just close the door and
I
we'll go be in our
know.
Katie Ginny energy.
Yes. Hmm.
Will you share more about like the specifics of, like you said, you went through a lot of body images. Like
Hmm.
what were some of those, what were some of the things you believed to be
Yeah.
true that you couldn't, that's at some point you could never see a way around
Right.
or through?
Okay. So just because of what I learned in childhood through like my mom and through other women and through society and the
Hmm.
magazines that were always around our house was that you could only be loved if your body looked a certain way.
Yeah.
Like that's how you earned love, was
Hmm.
looking a certain way. So that was implanted in my consciousness from a very young age. So my actions for up until my 20s or 30s was like trying to get the body that I thought someone would love to make me
Yes.
worthy of love.
Yes.
That's
And
what I had to get rid of. That's what I
oh,
had to rise above.
is the connecting your deservability
Yeah,
to
to what I look like.
what you look like.
Hmm.
And then you found that the, oh, this is my question. How differently do you act and behave now than you did then? So not
Uh-huh.
even like, forget about the
Okay.
feelings.
Okay, forget about the feelings.
Do you
Well,
behave different?
yes. Well,
Oh,
back then I over exercised, I restricted, I went on every
okay.
kind of diet in the universe. I looked in the
Yeah.
mirror and I judged myself. I used a scale all the time, or I thought the
Mm-hmm.
size of the clothing I bought was tied to my worth.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about it. I thought about food and I thought about what I shouldn't eat and what was bad for me and what was good for me. And
How do you
yeah.
not judge yourself though? How do you look in the mirror and think you're fat and not judge that?
allow what is. And I'll tell you what, I mean, this is like a quote diet secret. When you
Yeah.
allow what is and when you love your
Yeah.
body responds.
Is it just a choice
To love your body, it's a practice.
to allow, because I think this is one of the biggest things we face on this journey is the reality is not what I want.
Yeah.
So I cannot allow it and get what I want.
So then the other option is resisting and fighting against.
Mhm.
And so when you create in resistance and you're fighting against, you will have that for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
unless you choose to allow. And I know it sounds crazy because we've never been taught this, but
Yeah.
loving your body and honoring your body is the way to radiant health. Like your body feels everything you say, every
Mhm.
thought that you have is responding to you.
Yeah, it believes you. And I
Hmm.
think this is a big part of like you're embodying the new way of being in the fourth
Mm.
dimension.
Hmm.
Sorry,
Oh.
in the fifth dimension.
Oh.
Right?
Mm.
Because that's leading in
Yeah.
love. You're letting love guide and you're trusting that loving your body is the
Yes.
path to radiant health.
Hmm.
And we have all been taught that action and forcing and
Yep.
criticism and judgment is the path to get what
To
you
get
want.
what you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Ew, that doesn't feel good.
And I will say, just on the practical, in terms of
Yes.
the energy with which I do things is so important to me. If I'm having a piece of carrot
I
cake,
love this.
I'm
Yeah.
going to like sit and be in the energy of joy and appreciation with that piece of carrot cake.
Yes.
I do love to move my body,
Yeah.
but I love to move it in the ways I want to move it.
Yes.
And so I know that that's a priority. Like, do I love to walk outside in nature? Yes. Do I love doing sprints? No. So maybe I won't do them unless I feel like I'm in the energy of doing them. Like I want to be in the energy with however I take care of my body that I want to inhabit. I want to inhabit love. So I want to be in the behaviors in a loving way.
Mm-hmm. And you were committed to that and you prioritize that.
Yeah, and then once you learn how fun it is, like, yes, of course I'm gonna move and eat and love. Of course, it's so fun.
Because I think we will get, when we're in the fourth dimension, we're trying to master
Yeah.
that transformation. we try to should our way through, like there's the ideas of what we should do. I have to, like it's proven, there's the science. I have to exercise this way in order to look this way. And you are saying you could see that that's one way to do it.
Yeah.
And it works, but there's a new way to do it. And that new way, because it's has less dense energy, meaning fear and pain, it's the journey is actually easier.
I think so. In
so
my experience,
too.
yes. In your experience too?
Yeah. And I mean, and it's very tricky though, because when the mind's in control, you can't think your way to the answer.
No.
But what you said about being conscious of how you're choosing to feel when you're doing activities is so huge. Because I do hear often, well, I can't just eat whatever I want. But you can't. You have to actually, you can eat whatever you want, but you have to do it in the quality of love.
In that alignment of love.
Alignment.
And I will say that's something, I mean, this could be a whole nother podcast, but for me, also having emotional eating, overeating for emotional reasons, the way that was released was the non-judgment. The non-judgment in terms of when I would sense myself doing it, I would say, and I learned this from Eckhart Tolle, you're overeating right now. Or I'm overeating right now, and it's the best I can do. And then the more I practice the non-judgment, like I didn't have to do anything. It just fell away.
Yes.
It slipped away.
You weren't trying to change yourself.
Which I tried for so many years to quit that emotional eating. Oh my gosh, yes.
You just practiced the observing the judgment.
Yep.
And it went away.
It did. Isn't that
I know.
crazy?
It's freaking magic. It's so much easier than our mind makes it to be.
I know.
Yes.
So it really comes down to just that allowing and releasing judgment. Over and over and over. Awareness, allow, release.
Yes.
Over and over.
Yeah, that's so magical. If you were, I don't know if you can hear our kitten Benji, but he's meowing out. It's adorable. If you were speaking to yourself in the middle of this journey, in the middle. So when you're kind of like that fighting yourself and you're trying.
Yeah, I know it popped up right away is what my inner being said to me from day one. And they still say, relax, slow down, appreciate. Relax, just slow down, take some breaths, relax about this. Stop making everything so serious. Like relax, just slow down in this now and appreciate. Find something you appreciate. For me, that was like everything, and it still is. I can apply it to anything.
Okay, and what is your vision for radiant health?
Oh my gosh, freedom. Freedom to eat what I want, wear what I want, be who I want, like freedom.
Yes.
Freedom, energy, lightness, joy, laughter.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you.
Thank
you for leading the way in love. And I think I got to see Katie I call it out in the wild while she's been here. And it's been such a joy to watch her energy and people responding to her. And I'm just so appreciative to have another soul on this planet leading in love. Yes.
Thank you. And we didn't talk about this on this podcast episode, but our journey started together. Who even knows how many years ago when I hired Ginny as a coach. So Ginny, like, wow. And I say this to Tom all the time, my husband, like, I am so grateful. I knew when I talked to you on the phone, I'm like, this is my person. And then from that coaching relationship just evolved this like gorgeous soul friendship. So the fact that I can trace it all back to, I can see myself in my cabin, like on the phone with you. And I'm like, I know that I want Ginny in my life.
Yes. And it's that knowing that you just keep following and trusting, and it will expand into something greater than you can know.
Yes. So girl, your coaching on point.
Thanks, Katie. Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. Oh my
gosh, my pleasure. Thank you for asking me to be on. I appreciate it.
I'm sure we'll be doing more creating in the future.
Oh, I can't wait.
Okay.